Hi there to my subscribers, and if this is your first time watching a video of mine, thank you so much for stopping by. Today we're going to be cooking some hominy corn porridge, one of my favorite Jamaican breakfast dishes. So it's basically dried corn that is rehydrated, and then we're going to nice it up with some milk and some spices and sweeten it, of course, right? So let's get started. Let's see how this thing goes. Okay, so I bought the dry hominy corn and I just soaked it overnight. If you soak it over 2 days at room temperature, that's fine. You don't have to put it in the fridge. Just soak it so that it can swell up. And the longer you soak it, then the shorter you have to cook it. So if you can soak it for maybe 8 hours or more, then that's really good. So what we're going to be doing now is boiling it, just to make the grains swell up and soften, make them much easier to eat. But before we do that, I'm just adding some cinnamon stick. If you have cinnamon leaves, you can use that as well. So bring it up to a rapid boil, and then you're going to be adding the salt, because even though this is a sweetened dish, salt always helps to balance out everything, right? So add your salt, and then you're just going to cover the pot halfway so it doesn't boil over, and let it boil for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. It just depends on how long you've soaked it for. You can see here that the grains are getting softer and more swollen. So after boiling it and you've checked it and you realize that it's soft enough, we're going to be going in with some cornstarch. So I just have some teaspoons of cornstarch that I mixed with an equal amount of water, and we're going to use this to thicken the porridge, right? So just stir it in. While you're pouring the cornstarch, you want to make sure you're mixing at the same time, because it's gonna start to thicken immediately and you don't want to create any lumps. So just start whisking immediately to prevent those lumps from forming. So for the spices that I'm using, I like to add freshly grated nutmeg. I just prefer the taste of it. It just has a nice warm flavor versus buying the one in the jar. If that's what you have, you can use it fine, right? But I prefer my fresh nutmeg when I'm making porridge especially. So now it's time to go in with the milk. Today I'm using coconut milk and I'm using evaporated milk as well. However, there are some times when I just use regular cow's milk and then a little coconut milk. So you do have a choice. You do have a choice of what type of milk you use. And then just make sure you keep stirring to make sure all of that is thoroughly combined. And then you're going to keep simmering over low heat because the hominy is cooked already. Right now you're just adding a few other things to the pot. I'm going to be sweetening with some condensed milk. This is very sweet, so make sure you add a little at a time and just keep tasting. You can use sugar instead if you prefer. As a matter of fact, any form of sweetener you can use, but today I'm using condensed milk. Sometimes I use sugar. I do add a little bit of butter, guys. So this butter I find just adds a little more flavor, and it also helps the porridge to be even more filling too. Like you're adding a little fat to it, so it does add flavor and, you know, makes you feel more full when you have the porridge. And there we are, Jamaican hominy corn porridge. It's good to go. It's really nice and creamy, but you also have the texture from the corn. Some people like it a little thick, some like it on the thin side. So just adjust your ingredients to suit the person you're cooking for. And it's really, really easy to make. I love this porridge and I hope you like the recipe. See you next time. Take care.